Hello and welcome to LedgerCast. My name is Brian Krogsgaard. We are here today to talk about the markets. I'm here with Josh Olszewicz. Hey, Josh.
So Brian, how's it going? It's an historic day.
An historic day, yes. Doge, the standard, is here.
Don't sound so excited about it.
When you see my sells for Doge, it's impossible to be happy. But that's okay. Before we get to our Doge regrets, let's talk about Matcha, because they're our partner. Go to ledgerstatus.com/Matcha. You can trade on a decentralized exchange aggregator. It doesn't matter where the liquidity exists. You only care that it's on Matcha. They find all of the best places to buy assets using smart order routing. You can go any asset to any asset in a completely non-custodial manner. It's so slick. When Uniswap v3 and all that starts working and doing its thing, you won't have to change anything about the way you do it, because you'll just continue trading through Matcha at ledgerstatus.com/Matcha. Thanks so much to the team at Matcha for being our long-term partners. Joshua, you have Ethereum up. It hit 2,500.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start talking about any of this stuff. What do you want to start with? Alts? Or
I'm going to start with the fact
news?
that
Do you want to talk about coin? Like, what do you want to talk about?
I lost the 2,500 by the end of March bet, and then it did it 2 weeks later.
Did it even hit 20? Oh, I guess it did hit 20.
It did hit 2,500.
Hey, look,
it hit the target. I was 2 weeks early. That's okay. It'll be an expensive steak.
I can't wait.
But it did hit that midterm target. I actually don't really think 2,500 is that important of a target. You got that R3 there at 2,700. I think Ethereum has a ways to go, but we saw activity go straight into Doge more than anything else. I don't really know what was the impetus of it, but the flows just started going nuts on Doge, and honestly, everything else went down basically in response. So it was a Doge-only pump the past 24 hours, really. Does that worry you? How are you feeling?
I mean, I've mixed emotions. The biggest thing I feel right now is looking at BTC and how it's behaving. It's like there's a key piece of information that I don't have, and like I don't understand what's going on here. Not because it's not going up, but like even before Doge, slightly before Doge, like a couple days ago, DeFi stuff mooned hard. And like the fundamentals here don't make sense versus like what's moving. I think that's like a weird part too. I don't know, it's not like I'm not holding any of this other stuff and not making money here. I am, but just the way the whole market's moving is super weird. And yeah, Doge, I think CryptoMonk, some guy on Twitter said it best, like Doge is sucking everything out of the room.
Yeah, so I saw somebody, I think it was Crutches, talk about essentially there's at least a risk. It wasn't guaranteed or anything, but like there's at least a risk of a GME situation where that GME short squeeze caused pressure in the rest of the market because weird stuff was occurring.
Well, that's what I was thinking. And like, is this people covering their Doge shorts by like having to sell their BTC positions?
I doubt there's like a ton of that, like enough to really dump things, but it just, it might raise people's alarm bells for thinking like this is late cycle stuff, for Doge to go 6x or whatever it did in 4 days. And also just like retail euphoria and a sign of a local top, people risking off because of that. There's a lot that you can determine from it, even if it's not technically a short squeeze that's going to like force people to, sell Bitcoin in order to cover it or that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be that for it to put pressure on the rest of the market. And some of it could just be people abandoning other altcoins to chase the Doge pump. I think FTX had $22 billion in volume on Doge, something crazy.
I was going to say I agree. It's probably more of an indirect effect than a direct effect with people like covering their shorts or whatever or covering their Doge shorts. But the funding on Doge on FTX was negative on the way up, wasn't it? It might still be negative, which means there's more people are constantly shorting it and just getting bulldozed, which is pretty clear. It's just a continuous short squeeze, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody on the way up's like, I'm going to be a hero. I'm going to short this sucker. I'm going to make all the money back that I missed on the way up. And okay, it's still negative on Binance. Yeah. I get the feeling of wanting to short something that's up 200% in a day, right? But just you
just want that feeling of being the person that like called the wick on that, you know?
It's like these legacy people. Sven, I don't know if you know who this is on Twitter.
I know Sven.
Not to like cast shade upon him, but it's a classic bear mentality where it's like, you know, sky is falling, sky is falling, sky is falling. We get 1 week of red. It's like, yes, I called it, right?
Yeah. It's like through this forever wedge that just kept getting longer as the market kept going up, and it just went further into his wedge, and then it breaks down for 1 week. And he was like, I tried to tell you.
So yeah, if you're shorting this, you know, not investment advice, but be careful because nobody predicted this. Again, zero people. You know, we can talk about like BitLord maybe, but
yeah,
but nobody saw this coming. You know, when I talked,
not this level, no.
When I talked about Doge BTC, you know, I have like a weekly chart on TradingView. I talked about it at like 20 sats, right? Like who cares at this point? But this is part of why you just trade this range, and you just buy the lows and forget about it, right?
My bet at the beginning of the year was it wouldn't get beyond 100 sats, so I was off by many multiples because it went to 600.
Yeah, I mean this chart is it's like a cartoon.
I wasn't patient enough for this. In the chat, Crypto Jackson there, he was talking about Doge being like the bat signal. Either before me or we were, we both were kind of aligned on that. But what we got in January, I would have thought was basically it, you know, and then for it to have sustained for weeks and then repeat it and do it again, but harder, that's mind blowing to me. And now what's going to be interesting is it's so high, people will want to like tack on for that short. So it could sustain it further, as funding probably is a constant fight for it. Like people aren't going to like rush to long this, but people will keep trying to short it for a while. So now the funding could keep it elevated for even longer. And what if there's one more push? Like what if Doge does go to $1? You know what I mean? Like that's just going to end in total devastation and pain once you eventually have contraction in the market. So yeah.
Yeah. All I see, maybe it's like the soy boy in me, but all I see in this chart is the hundreds of thousands of people who are buying the top on this and just they're losing all their money. You know,
yeah. I had a friend last night that, you know, he's a nerd, but he's not a trader. And he was like, heard about Doge stuff, but he's probably never looked at a chart in his life and was like, man, I feel like I need to get in on this Doge stuff before it goes crazy. And I'm like, dude, it went crazy. It went so crazy. Please do not buy Doge. But like the hordes of normies that don't look at charts, the news flow and Elon's tweets are all they have for it. They're just going to find out how can they go buy Doge, and they're going to buy it, and then they're going to bag hold it forever and think crypto's a scam because their $1,000 turned into like $50.
Yeah.
Over the course of the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's fun. It's entertaining, but I don't think it's like a good force on the industry as a whole. You know, like yeah. I know people who made a ton of money on this, but that's not most people, you know?
Yeah. And for what it's worth, I'll sit here with my regrets of like many 7 figures that I should be holding if I just was like, all right, well, BitLord's got it right here. I'm just going to hold Doge and off we go. the Doge that I bought at like 0.4 of a cent and is up 75x today is many millions of dollars, and oops, didn't hold any of it. So sucks to be me.
Yeah, I mean, this goes back to my own personal struggles with trading, which is once I write off a coin or a trade idea, I don't go back to it, you know. And I should have been watching this, right?
Well, I was watching it in the 5 cent range as well. So there were 2 trades for me, right? Like I essentially called the cyclical element end of year, beginning of year, but then I abandoned it because I was impatient. But even had I done so, I would have played from 0.4 of a cent to 1 cent. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have gotten the 2 cents to 3 cents to 4 cents to 5 cents. And then I played it again. This is where my lines on the chart exist. when it was consolidating at like 5 cents, I actually went heavy on it, but it was because there was liquidity, and because it was consolidating. Well, of course, it consolidated for like a month longer than I anticipated. So I was out again, impatient. And then it went like 5x. And had I just held that and nothing else, I would have pulled multiples on the play that I was trying to do in March, you know?
Yeah. So I guess the lesson is when the markets are popping off everywhere, you have to continue being vigilant and scanning and watching stuff. Yeah. And
it's the danger of concentration as well. Like when you do a concentrated bet, you're anticipating that you will get a quick impulse, right? And if you don't get a quick impulse, you start feeling the regrets of your concentrated bet, and it makes it so that you don't hold on to that concentrated bet for the move to actually occur. And then if you capitulate on it, then you miss out on the real move. And that's the type of thing that probably happened to a lot of people waiting for this next leg of Doge. And so even though it went up like crazy and there's a lot of people participating in it and that might regret it, the profits are probably being consumed by a relatively small number of people who are participating in size, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And now they're the ones who will distribute on the people that jump in late saying, oh yeah, now it's going to $1.
Right. I mean, but to be fair, like GME, just to talk about meme stocks for a second, GME basically revisited its high. It's been a month now, but I don't know what's going on.
Like, okay, yeah, the GME one is a weird example. Like, I think what you have there is people still with hopium on this, it's going to short squeeze idea again, but that's done. So now, to me, it just looks like long-term distribution, and it's stunning that it's taking this long to play out. And I think any pump in something like GME is a sell opportunity for the biggest players and hopium for the smallest. And I think that Doge will operate very similarly. But it could end up looking like this, where it's elevated for a long time, and we're just like, we don't get it, but okay. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I felt at 100 sats with Doge. Like, why isn't it dropping? It should be dropping. It's always dropped. It's cyclical. I'm gonna ignore it, right? Like that was my mindset.
I tell you what, this is the type of market where I wish crypto had like very liquid options. Because this is how you could play a short volatility, like you sell a straddle or you sell a strangle. Is an options type of play that you could make on Doge, where you just pitch a tent and you let people who are trying to anticipate further and further volatility, you just let them pay you the premium for those options. So that's the way I would like to play this, but we don't have those products. So that's Doge. We don't want to spend any more time on it. I want to move on to the Coinbase IPO. There's talk. These things aligning also is what makes people's antenna go up, right? So you've got Doge mega mooning. You've got Coinbase IPO. People think, is this CME 2.0? Is this the top? Yada, yada. Coinbase IPO, like, if it had not started where it started, this would look like a total moon on IPO. Obviously, it was a massive win for everyone involved. Sorry, direct listing. If people want to like be specific with me, shut up. It's still an IPO. It's just a public listing of a company.
Was the process bizarre to you? Like, the whole thing was bizarre. Setting a reference price and then like not opening till 1:30 p.m.
No,
I don't know.
It's not there. I think Slack did a direct listing and some others have done it. It's not like the first time, but it was goofy how long it took and how weird it was. Makes you realize like legacy markets are pretty inefficient still. So it instantly went up for like 6 or 7 minutes of FOMO, and then those FOMOers just felt regret for the rest of the opening day, and now it's just been sideways for 2 days. It's just like no one's happy at that, right? It's just trying to create some kind of max pain before it starts to trend one way or the other.
Yeah, I said it kind of reminded me of the comp chart, how like comp
when it started farming,
and then it just like dipped below 100 and everybody was laughing at it, including me, and now it's back at like highs, right? Like, yeah, I expect some distribution here, right? Like you're unlocking years of VC money.
And to put the VC money in perspective, their earliest investors, the first 2 rounds, bought shares at either 15 cents or 20 cents, and it's at $340 right now or whatever. So they're
And
in
these,
a large
and they've
profit.
been resold several times too. So this isn't like the original people, right?
Well, I mean, some of them probably held on to some, but either way, that's a 2000x plus. But even their like A16Z got their shares for $1, so they were mid rounds, like maybe they were their Series B or something, and they bought shares for $1, and they're at a 300x plus. Like they're very happy because you put money in at that point, like they've secured their business and like they've, you know, like it's not as dangerous of a VC play, but then it's still a 300x plus. Like that's the dream for those mid-stage VCs. Even the late-stage VCs pulled multiples on this. So everyone is happy with current pricing on Coinbase, which leads you to this opportunity for distribution. But guess who the biggest buyer of the day is on Coinbase?
Kathy.
It's old Kathy with ARK
KW.
with ARK Invest. They put it in 3 different of their ETFs. I don't know if you saw that.
I did. Is she married? Should I call her Mrs. Wood?
I don't know.
I just don't know.
I think we can call her Miss Wood as a
Miss Wood. Okay.
As a politically correct version. But I think they bought 750,000 shares on day one. So this is one of those things where it's like Kathy says there's more room, and I honestly agree with her. There is more room. I think that's insane, but it doesn't mean it can't happen. It's early days on the public markets. Anything could happen.
I got lots of texts from people not in crypto about this, so everyone heard about this for sure, especially the valuation, which was like 100 billion at one point. I don't know what it is at 340, but
it's widely being compared to like Google and Facebook as, Google early IPO to search and like internet utilities, Facebook early IPO to social networks, Coinbase early IPO to crypto assets. Facebook went down 50% after it IPO'd, and then it mooned. Coinbase could do that. It could just moon. I don't know. I have no alpha. I have no insight. I will just be watching the charts as they form. Josh is showing the chart on the stream of a 3-minute chart, and like,
well, you have to. There's no other.
Yeah, because there's nothing else. That's the point. It's
the things I liked about this though is it's such a proxy for so many things, just generally like coin listings, airdrops. We saw the volume, so all the volume is real, and I can trust it. I can look at VPVR. I can look at crazy chart patterns on low time frames. All the TA stuff we talk about applies 100% to this stuff for sure, regardless. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
All right. Well, why don't we talk about like where we are, rotations, all that good stuff. Coinbase, Doge, both potential toppy bearish sentiment things. But you really look at the charts and there's nothing screaming at you that this market's over in any capacity, whether you're looking at Bitcoin or pretty much anything else. You had Pi cycle top. People were sad that we didn't talk about that 2 weeks ago. What's it telling you?
Yeah, so I did a video last week on this, and I did a video this week, YouTube channel, youtube.com/carpenoctum. How this works is a back-tested set of MA multipliers and MAs that historically have done well at picking the top. This time around, it is telling us that we have crossed on these back-tested MAs, and we have 3 to 4 days from the cross to put in a cycle top. Now, what I said on the video, and I'll say again here, is that the previous tops were much different on every other metric than the current top is now. So you can't really look at this alone and say it's over, it's done. Look at everything else we have available, like the 2-year MA multiplier. Just one example. And this isn't like cherry picking back tested data. It's like, you look at everything available, it's a buffet. Take it. If you think it's the top based on the Pi cycle indicator, sell everything, right? Like, who am I to tell you what to do? But for me, it's important to look at all the data and say, okay, what's going on here?
It's one input on a variety of things that are historically good at finding potential tops.
Right. It's a crouton, If you don't like croutons, sometimes you're in the mood for a crouton, sometimes you're not. But it's not going to ruin the whole salad buffet for you, right?
Sure. maybe we can go with that comparison, that analogy.
So if we look at the MA multiplier, the top end is at 77K. So historically, if we get above this MA multiplier, the red line.
Yeah. And that this one does leave a little bit of room because it hasn't broken above the 2-year multiplier, which would indicate true extension. It's just riding the top line. Right.
So, my read on this is if we break 77, which we should, then we have 3 to 4 good weeks left of absolute insanity. And that'll be the top. And that should align with every other metric on that anybody looks at. Puel is another one. Again, just back tested data. We're looking at coin issuance. This is how much money are miners making relative to the coin issuance. So if everybody's getting fat and rich, they're more likely to sell, right?
Yeah, Jack said in the chat we had blow off tops each other time, but no go here, not necessarily going to be the case this time. It's true that it doesn't necessarily have to be the case this time. Also, I very clearly remember in 2017, at the time, people were not calling it a blow off top because it wasn't like on a low time frame, like a 5-minute chart went $5,000. But if you looked at like the daily and the weekly, the price doubled in 2 weeks or something like that to end the cycle. So it depends on what time frame you are getting that blow off top. So it's kind of hard to identify a blow off top. Multiple times I've seen them, people don't declare them as such when it occurs.
Yeah, I mean, how it worked in 2013 and 2017, we were going up thousands of dollars a minute. That's a blow off top. I agree. Do we necessarily need to have one every time? No. But
does it help?
The data I'm looking at says we've passed the point of no return for blow off top territory. So that's not what I wanted. Anyway, we are on our way towards blow off top for sure.
Well, my opinion is a lot of stuff still looks like it's just healthy uptrends to me. Like Ethereum still looks fantastic. It looks like to me Ethereum and other stuff is trending while Bitcoin is not trending. Ethereum looks halfway through its current move before it really needs to consolidate more. It's about a 50%. Let's just draw the line. About a 50% move before. And if you were to extrapolate that would take it to 2,700, which would also be that R3. But I think from a round number perspective, my target is 3,000 on Ethereum for this prior consolidation up move. And it just looks like the recent, couple candle 4-hour dips is just normal stuff in the midst of a healthy move. I'm not particularly worried about anything that I see on Ethereum.
I agree. I just think everybody's looking at, including myself, looking at Doge and other
extrapolating
stuff and wondering why isn't BTC moving? Why isn't ETH moving? Or why is ETH doing what it's doing here?
Yeah, but ETH is moving. It's just more of a controlled burn so far. Sure. Like the last 3 days were just 3 solid candles up, but they weren't euphoric, And now this is one down daily that's wicked itself, and it looks like it can continue from here. Maybe it'll do nothing this weekend, but it doesn't even have breakout volume on it yet. Not significant breakout volume. It's like trend shifting volume. To me, this looks like a steady move that easily has $3,000 in its sights, maybe more. I love the timing. I love a lot of stuff here with ETH still. I have no reason to feel bearish Ethereum. And honestly, by comparison, a lot of other DeFi stuff as well. Like I still really like Curve because of the same thing I showed recently, which is this prior high line that I thought it was going to breach, and finally it breached it, and now it retested it, and now it looks freaking great. Like Curve USD looks fantastic. Curve BTC still looks like it's got this crossover, but it looks like it's just bottomed versus BTC. It looks like this has a whole move ahead of it for Curve. Like go back to those prior levels, it's a 2 or 3x on something like Curve. And none of that would blow my mind like Doge has blown my mind, you know? And Curve is the type that's pretty much a blue chip. Now, if I look at some others like Sushi, it did nothing for, let's call that its local top. Did nothing for 72 days. 72 days in a bull market where it essentially went sideways with a failed break up and a failed break down back to consolidation. This has the capacity to continue moving up from here if it wants to, in my mind. 2 months is a lot of consolidation in crypto. You compare it to the BTC pair and it looks like chop. You see my failed pennant back here, but then it didn't go all the way to the 200-day moving average. It didn't go all the way to that prior low. So it looks like it's trying to balance and recover here. But none of these look out of control versus BTC. None of these look cycle ending relative to BTC to me. So some of these I own, some of these I don't. I'm trying to use them as examples. I don't think there's anything indicative that this has to be a top in DeFi in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still margin long BTC and ETH. I'm still 100% long in the Enzyme fund on BTC and ETH. I'm buying the dips on DeFi in the DeFi fund portfolio, rather. If we look at the MA multiplier for ETH, that's a 3,700 target on ETH.
Yeah, I like that. Even dinosaur coins like Zcash, it looks like it just started. Zeke BTC flipped the trend at 0.0029, and now it's had 3 weeks up, but it's not an out of control thing. It just looks like it recovered its failure on a relative basis. And it looks like it can really move up from here even. So
I guess my other bias with coins like that is like, I want to get in and out as quick as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to linger with those.
No, that's just me. You know, I know people who are diehard Zeke people, right?
Yeah, we're being asked to talk about Rune. I think it mooned. I don't really know what else to say.
So either I have a boomer mentality when it comes to alts, or people just love to talk about the absolute bottom of the barrel stuff.
Rune's not bottom of the barrel at all.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, you're wrong.
Okay.
Rune's at $14. It was as low as $1.83. This is a cross-chain swap project.
Okay.
In January is $1.83, so it's up 700% this year, and it's just a perma uptrend.
But everything like this chart looks like every other chart, right?
This is actually only since it's been on ETH, like on Uniswap. It's actually, I mean, it was way lower than this. It's like 1,000x for some people. This is one of those real projects that then just like memed itself to incredible performance on top of it. So. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about Rune, but like it just keeps going. What am I supposed to say? Like it looked toppy at $6 and now it's 15. Congrats to Bobby and other Rune holders. Just perma bullish Rune. By the way, I don't know if y'all can hear this, but my dog is like sawing logs behind me. Just snoring like crazy back here. I'd wake her up and show you, but you can't hear it anyway, so okay. Uniswap. You're looking at Uniswap perps, but I mean, Uniswap just keeps grinding higher. Everything looks good, man. I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
That's where I'm at. Like, I don't know. I'm at the same spot I was 2 weeks ago when we were consolidating on the big stuff, right? You're either jumping in and out of everything quickly, or you're just sort of relaxed about it, you know? I don't think there's really an in-between. Like, the people who are up multiples on Doge were crapping their pants, let me tell you. Or if you're short and underwater Doge, you are glued to that screen. You know?
Yeah, I would not want to be shorting Doge right now, even though I think it's very toppy. Another one that I wanted to show was Aave, because this is another one that probably the same date as Sushi, early February. For 70 days, it has not done a ton. And now it just looks like it broke out, and it looks like it broke the trend. It looks like it's going to the highs, and it has potential price exploration ahead of it. It looks amazing. I have no problem holding Aave when it looks like this. Not any problem whatsoever. Am I holding something that was a 5x for someone else or a 10x for someone else? Sure. I traded it back then too, but now I'm willing to trade it again, willing to be in it again until it proves me wrong. That's the way I'm playing it. It looks freaking fantastic.
I agree. It's even got an inverted head and shoulders breakout with volume. Definitely all-time high retest for sure. Another one that I liked was Band, which I've been watching. What's so funny? Okay. Why are you laughing?
Okay, Kendall said it. I'm ready to get hurt again. Okay. That's his quote for me.
I thought you were giving me crap about Band.
No, I got no beef with Band. It looks like it's about to do what Aave did. Like that's a follow trade. Looks great.
Yeah, volume is there. If we turn on the cloud, it's even edge to edge if you want to play it like that, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of these DeFi alts look good. I mean, we didn't even talk about Maker, but...
Yeah, Maker's going nuts, isn't it?
Yeah. Maker pulled a 50%, you know? But if you know chart patterns, you're like, okay, this is a cup and handle, right? Like, or whatever. It's something.
It's consolidation at the highs, which is great.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what you want to see. We should have just bought 2,700 hand over fist. I didn't even think about it. I wasn't even looking at Maker, ignoring it completely. And that's basically what's happened over and over again in this cycle. And this is what happens in bull cycles. Impulse, consolidate, impulse. Consolidate longer, impulse. Eventually, it does it enough to where it gets tired. This was a good relative value trade, for sure. I like it. Do it. That's why I'm not selling Curve after one day. Like, I feel like if it's going to have an impulse, it could go to $6, $7, $8. Because, you know, bull markets, that's what's fun. It's the fun.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the coin people rotating into crypto stuff. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think I
think the guy that did this big thread about, I interviewed all these people and it's like, turns out they want to buy Balancer. And by the way, I have lots of Balancer. It was smart. And then he put his tweet on like promotion. He interviewed a couple hundred people and asked them like, what are they interested in buying, and decided Balancer was one of them. That's fine. I like Balancer. It's fine. I think if I was in an IPO position like that, where I had this liquidity coming up, would I reinvest some in crypto? Yes. Would I take some and like change my life with it? Yes. Am I going to pay taxes with some? Yes. Were most of those people already invested in crypto on top of their Coinbase shares? Yes. Will some of them use the money to go fund other stuff? Yes. They will do many things with their money. People with money do many things with their money. Buying Balancer is just one of them, but it was a fantastic tweet to promote your position. I wish I would have thought of it, because I would have done the same thing with ZRX.
Yeah,
when you looked at the chart, ZRX and Balancer were exactly the same height of like interest from Coinbase investors. The difference was they were like, here's Balancer's market cap, which was the non-fully diluted value, but Balancer's a high inflation coin, so it was like, this is so cheap relative to everything else because it's 500 million. Look at these other ones, and like the fully diluted value is like 4 times the ZRX value. So buy my bags, not his bags. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting, the commentary. For me, I feel like most people wouldn't be throwing money into crypto because, you know, Arthur Hayes of BitMEX has said this. I don't know how true it is, but he's like, I don't own any crypto because my business is crypto. So he like, you know, you want to diversify that a little bit. Now, do I believe him? No, but but it's a way of thinking about it, right?
That's what he used to say. It's not what he says anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. You know, I wish Arthur well. I don't know what he's doing now, but yeah, I don't know how many people are actually rotating from coin into other coins, right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's up to them. We got a good question from Crypto Jimith. In an ideal world, what percentage would you take out towards the end of the bull market? 50% out to buy back later and 50% let it ride? Seems reasonable, right? All right. 40%-ish to pay taxes. So you have 60% of your portfolio left, okay? Of the 60%, maybe you take 30%, do life stuff with it. And then 30%, maybe you use a cash basis for your like metric, and then look for lower time frame trades. But those profits are harder to come by. It's certainly personal, as Stubby says, in terms of what you do with that money, but that's the way I would think about it. Uncle Sam gets his big cut, And then after that, I'm going to use some for life stuff, and I'm going to stay exposed to the market, but I'll probably change my basis for what I value to dollars over coins until I feel like Bitcoin has drawn down enough, or there's been a big enough impulse down that I'm willing to take a long bet on it. And then maybe I'll keep 10% or something in Bitcoin just because. I might be wrong. It might not be the bottom. Might be super cycle, and I want to participate in that if it's the case. Planet Street says 40% for taxes? Question mark, question mark, question mark. And the answer is yes. Short-term taxes, short-term gains, basically talking about upwards of 40%, certainly to be safe, because it's taxes income. The answer is yes in the United States.
Or you can do what I did in 2017, 2018, and basically just hold everything because I didn't want to pay taxes.
Yeah, but like
that's not the smart thing to do, but
yeah, this goes into my theory as to why I think this market will find significant roller coaster activity at the end of the calendar year, and then also into like January, February, and I don't think it's going to look exactly like 2017, but I think there's enough people that remember their tax burdens after 2017 who will throw the warnings out there this time, like I'm doing right now, and it'll cause a hiccup in the market at minimum towards the end of the year as people essentially protect their gains for paying taxes, because you have to pay your taxes based on the calendar year. But if the market goes down, say 50% in 2022, and you have not taken anything out from what you traded in 2021, but all your coins and stuff were actively traded, well, the majority of your stuff will now be short-term capital gains from 2021, but now you've lost 50% of your income. But you're going to owe 30 or 40% of your total gains from 2021 for your taxes, but you only have 50% to do it with. So now you're down to like 10 or 15% of your total portfolio to be able to pay your taxes. Now you're in big trouble. Lots and lots and lots of people did that in 2017, 2018. Lots and lots of people did that. So the calendar thing, it's a big deal.
You mean to tell me on this day, April 16th, that seasonality matters?
I'm telling you that seasonality matters, and there's a reason why Josh talks about it frequently, because when your taxes are due, when your tax calendar year rolls over, it's the same reason that was backing up my theory for January starting alt season. People were happy with Bitcoin gains, and they were waiting to move Bitcoin until the tax burden would be delayed a year. That's what happened. I'm certain that's what I did in 2020 and 2021, is I waited to take a significant position in altcoins until I was going to delay those taxes another year. So yes, January matters, April matters, September matters, December matters. Look at that. We just hit most of the quarters of the year.
Yeah, I think I expect Q3 to be real bad. We still have a bit left in Q2, which historically is when alts do the best. So it's no surprise that we're seeing what we're seeing in altcoin land. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we've topped. Are we actually going to call it this is the top, or is this the top, rather?
I'm not going to call this as the top. I'm not willing to do it.
Doesn't feel like the top. I think we've got ways to go. I like the 80K gamma squeeze theory. If you look at the options strikes, it's a bunch of 80K.
$80,000.
$80,000 for BTC. So I learned that, thanks to GME, I know what a gamma squeeze is now. I can have that hopium under my belt.
Yeah.
We're going to go
ahead.
to 80K.
That's fine. I like hopium. I was asked by, who was it? Sorry. Someone asked me to shill bond. This is Barnbridge. I took a position in this recently. Not gigantic. It's pretty inflationary, so I don't know the best way to play it or lock it up or whatever. But I felt like it was breaking a resistance. It did. I'm in profit. I like it. But it is a pretty inflationary coin, so you got to figure out what you're going to do with it or how long you're going to hold it. The reason I was interested in this is because Kane, the Synthetics founder or co-founder, had tweeted that this was one of the most impressive projects he'd ever seen from an execution standpoint in crypto. and synthetics is really well done from an execution standpoint. So it made me dig in. I looked at bond in January. The reason I didn't do it then is because the inflation was super high, but their highest inflation pool recently ended, and it still has a high inflation, but you can lock your coins away kind of like you do on Curve and earn interest on them that way to prevent the inflation issues. But yeah, it looks like a good project. I'm really interested in who's going to win the bond wars. There's MPH, there's Bond, or like Barnbridge is this one. There's others, which essentially are attempting to provide yield on stables and provide bond-like products, which I think is in legacy markets, the bond markets are multiples larger than the stock market. So I think this will be a big market for crypto, but I don't know who the winner is going to be. I don't know if there will be token value accrual. I don't know. I'm just a speculator speculating. That's my Barnbridge shill.
What do you make of all the stablecoin prints lately?
I think people are punting their stablecoins, their dollars, into the crypto ecosystem to take advantage. I'm on your screen, by the way.
Gotcha.
To take advantage of the various ways of getting yield on dollars. People want yield on dollars, and there's lots of yield on dollars in crypto.
I was just going to pull up the...
God, that's like insane.
Tether on Tron actually flipped ETH on Tron, which is super interesting as far as supply is concerned. USDC has just been printing like crazy lately.
Yeah. USDC is playing a lot of catch up with Tether, which I find fascinating.
Yeah, which I think is good.
Honestly, I don't have any beef with Tether at all. At all. None. No beef. No beef, no FUD. I like USDC. I do. I don't have any reason not to like USDC. And Anuj in the chat says it's taking off due to Visa. I don't know what their Visa partnership is, but maybe there's a partnership there.
I think the more on-ramps we can get, the better.
Yeah,
the more
on-ramps, more stable rails, more that are fast. Sounding more. Like someone said I sound like Bill Clinton.
More everything, more better.
Is that a compliment or a burn? If I sound like Bill Clinton, I don't think you
sound like Bill Clinton. So anyway, that's the stablecoin stuff. I've been noticing a lot of it more and more. Just nonstop printing. I think the APRs are attractive to the legacy people. That's my hypothesis, that they see stablecoins as like a non-risky way to go long crypto, basically, by doing the stablecoin or yield farming stuff.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's leave it there. My dog's decided to end the show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll maybe do an after show here in a minute, but it was a pleasure to be with you. Go to letterstats.com for the show notes and all that good stuff. Say hello to my dog.
Monuments crumble in the blink of an eye. The easy river has just run dry. In a house of cards, I feel the breeze wound so tight I can barely breathe. Oh, the chains, oh, the chains, Lord, the chains, come release me from the
And we're back. Chat's giving me such a hard time. It was the Critter Man. Critter Man's coming to get the squirrels and the possums and raccoons or whatever it is out of my attic. The song is "Oh the Chains" by Joel Madison Blunt. My wife is not home. Not yet. Do we look at BTC dominance? We look at BTC dominance all the time. Come pump up the gayness. Or the gains.
On this show.
I thought
your problem. That strike price thing, I finally found it. The data as I was looking for. 80K. Look at this massive.
Yeah. Look at that.
Look at that. 80K and 50K.
50K and 80K. Can we look at Radium? Yeah, we can look at Radium, especially for 0x4C, the best mod in the universe.
That's that coin I haven't heard in a long time. Didn't it get delisted, or am I thinking of the wrong thing?
No, you're thinking of the wrong one.
Rad. I think Rad got delisted.
No, it's Ray. R-A.
Okay, Rad. Back in my day, okay. Radium was a thing, and it got delisted.
Now Rad is Radical, which is a Loomdark coin. And Radium is a Solana Uniswap clone, I think. It looks fine. Looks like it might be bouncing off resistance if you want to be positive about it.
This could be a little falling channel situation.
Yeah, maybe. How dare you? Stubby compares ZRX to Zcash. That's very rude. ZRX is just retesting the all-time high breakout. I cannot imagine not buying this.
Yeah, I'm glad I FOMO'd in my $1,500 when I did. I don't have cash, people. I don't have cash. That's the thing about the coin IPO. So I'm in the process of moving between states and stuff, and they're asking for like information about my income. And it's so awkward because it's like
I don't have
anyway. Right. Anyway, but between that and like the IPO for legacy stuff, it's like I don't have a cash just lying around in markets, you know?
Mm-hmm. I offloaded cash for the first time in quite a long time on a particular exchange. And it was annoying because I could not convert USDC directly. So I got paid in USDC and I was trying to pull it off. And I had to buy ETH, transfer it to this exchange, and then I had to convert it to USD because they didn't support stablecoins. And then I had to, on their exchange, to go from ETH to USDC in order to prevent a very large fee and only get a minor fee. I had to put a limit order and figure out a way to get filled, but I was trying to do it before I went to bed, and it took me freaking forever. So I was like, I have to make 2 trades just to get money off. It's ridiculous. So all these freaking exchanges, they just need to support all the stablecoins and then just do one-to-one redemptions for all of them. That would make life easier.
I agree.
But what was funny is it was a very small amount crypto-wise. Like, it was not a lot of money. But, like, in real life, I'm like, I'm rich. You know what I mean? Like, that's in my bank account? What? I don't have any money in my bank account.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I might have 10K in my bank account. Like, it's, like I don't have any money in my bank account, right?
Dude, all right. Just because this is our friends. The other day I hit it, like, it might be an all-time low for one of my business accounts where it's like the one I pay myself out of. I hit $980 and I was like, I have to pull some money out because I've been getting paid in crypto for stuff recently, not in like direct invoices. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I have $980. Are you kidding me? That's all I have in my freaking bank account. So I had to pull some stable coins that I gotten paid in to refill the coffers, but it only took one day wire transfer, very easy. And then all of a sudden it was like, I hardly took anything out of crypto accounts. And then I felt rich again.
There you go.
Thoughts on Saffron SFI offering tranches for LPs. Bo, I really lean in on David's expertise, Trustless State, on some of these things. He shilled me Saffron when it was really cheap. I didn't buy it, and then it went way up. So I wish I would have bought it. That's all I know about it, other than I think it might be playing in the bond space too, kind of like Barnbridge, but I could be wrong on that. I think it's a yield thing. We didn't talk about Yearn, Josh, but Wi-Fi is like turning itself around in my mind.
Yeah, I saw that. I did a video on that this week too, actually. We didn't talk about Dixie, which is just plummeting, which is great for crypto.
We talked about it on Weekly Open on Monday. Don and I did.
Okay.
It failed that 200 day. It's looking pretty crappy right now, which is good. That's kind of what we were hoping, right? Like just an unimpressive pump and then off it goes.
And the VIX as well, just grinding lows, which is what you want to see. I got my vaccine. We didn't even talk about that. I got my microchip in. I'm part of the Borg army now.
Bro, I'm getting my second dose next Wednesday.
You're ahead of the curve, son.
Yep. I got one of those extra doses where like our local store had too many shipped to one location or something like that. And the medical network of people got out there, and my wife works in the medical industry, and she was like, yo, call these people. So I got it like 2 months ahead of when I thought I'd get it. But in our area, anybody 16 and older can get it now.
Yeah. Yeah, same.
Pretty much wide open at this point. We're going to trigger the conspiracy people. Yeah, man, we got our 5G chips. We're good.
Yeah. Give me everything.
Can we talk GBTC? It's still at a discount. It's probably going to stay at a it's probably never going to have a major premium again. There's a hot take.
I agree. Getting back to the
I think ETH will carry a premium again because ETH is not going to have an ETF the same way as Bitcoin will. It'll be like a year delayed probably.
That's a fair take, I guess.
Here's a burn. I sold my ETH to buy coin, and I bought coin too soon. So now I'm underwater on my Coinbase purchase, and I hate Coinbase.
I bought 3 shares at $3.38 because that's all I had in my account.
I bought more than 3 shares. I bought a significant amount, and I was just like, oh, I'll just scalp it. It'll be fun. And then I was like, tranche 1 filled, tranche 2 filled, tranche 3 filled, tranche 4 filled. Stop going down! That's pretty much how it went.
See, yeah, this GBTC is at more than 10% below spot at this point, right?
8 or 10%, yeah, something like that.
I thought it was interesting that the ETH CME futures actually had a premium too. At least on the close they did. Not anymore, but
yeah, for a minute.
Yeah. Oh, I guess what's today? Friday? I guess markets are still open. What's ETH at?
ETH is at...
Where's my ETH chart?
ETH is at 24.14.
Okay, so yeah, it still does have a premium.
So
they love their ETH.
There she is. They've never seen her. You say hey?
I'm pretty sure everybody's seen your dog.
No, they haven't seen her. She's a good dog. Her leash will dox her. Dox her, yes. If her collar shows up on the video, it's going to be like, hello, this is where you live. There she is. Go, girl. Lucy. Okay, she's done. Doggo docs.
Just got stage fright.
Thrillo says she'll eat you. Dude, she's super chill. Do I ride it to work? No, she rides in the front seat of my car, though. Because we got car seats in the back, so she looks hilarious. She's just sitting there right next to me in the car. She's a Great Dane. All right. That's all I got.
Yeah, I don't really have much else. We didn't really talk about ETHBTC, but it had quite a week again.
In a good way, right?
Yeah, in a good way. Yeah. All right.
Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Thanks, folk. Take care.
Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
That's it.